Mic check. Alright, yes, Shalom Akim. Alright, coming back at you with another lesson with the power and spirit of the Most High, Yehovah Shemo Shai. Giving double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone and salutes to all the 144,000 elect men. Just want to go through this while I'm testing out my new app. See how it's gonna, if I'm gonna stick with this one or not, but yeah, just tapped in top 10 scientists. Top 10 scientists, and you get some of the infamous or famous scientists that come up. Some of the 1879, 1955, Albert Einstein. Nikola Tesla, 1855, 1943. The ones I know of, which I learned some of them at school. Isaac Newton, 1643, 1721. Isaac Newton. Let's start with one that we may be more familiar with. Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was a suburban American inventor, electrical engineer, mathematical engineer, and futurist. He is best known for his contribution to the design of the modern alternating. Let me pronounce that properly if I can. Alternating current electricity supply system. So yeah, I'm going through this for a reason. I just want to at the same time refresh my mind on some of these well-known men, famous men of past. Isaac Newton, I heard of him. Let me see if I can just go through briefly. We don't have to get all up into it, but and we're going to hit some precepts as well. Isaac Newton, FRS, was an English polymath, active as a mathematician, physicist, astronomer, alchemist, theologian, and author. He was described in his time as a natural philosopher. He was a key figure in the scientific revolution. Got a load of things that he studied. Were there philosopher? So he was a highly intelligent. These are highly intelligent man as far as the world. You know, we ain't getting all into it. Oh, we also here's Charles Darwin. Let me refresh my memory of Charles Darwin. These are names that you hear getting thrown around from time to time. So he was an English naturalist, geologist, and biologist, widely known for his contributions to evolution, to the evolutionary biology, right? Which is a contrary stance against the scriptures. You know, the Genesis goes into how we came about. The book of Genesis, and also the seed. We can learn a lot to blow it out of the water from which the book of Genesis is actually quite deep. You know, it depends on what you want to get out of it, but yeah, it doesn't back this up. His proposition that all species of life have descended from a common ancestor is now generally accepted and considered a fundamental concept in science. Well, we came from the Adamites, and then you have the seed of Cain and Abel, and then you have Jacob and Esau. So in certain senses, which then you had the angels that created the universe. We was going into that a little bit, but we're going through it at the moment, looking into some of the book of Genesis, which are described as basic, which is a wholly foundational understanding in the book of Genesis that blows all this evil knowledge rubbish that we was taught or drummed into us in school. blows all of that out the window. So these are famous men, man, of times past, came and gone, right? But they made their mark and they're still revered today. So I tapped in top 10 scientists of today. Some of them here, uh, some of them I've never heard of. But yeah, him too. I've never. Well, that's actually a woman. Yeah, to you, inspired by ancient books, Chinese chemist Tu discovered a new treatment for malaria, which has helped lives save lives globally. Every scientist's dream. Another famous of today. Yeah, breakthrough in 20th century tropical medicine, saving millions of lives in South China, Southeast Asia, Africa, and South America. So these are revered men and women of today. So I just tapped in these scientists today. He comes up as well. Who is this dude here? Tyson, Neil deGrasse Tyson, if I'm pronouncing that name right there. An American astrophysicist, author, and science communicator. Right, this is a well infamous man today, a famous man today. He usually goes into talking about the galaxies and the stars, and he doesn't believe in aliens, and the questions out there for him anyway, aliens and all that, which they're not aliens, we know that, but at Harvard University. Tyson studied at Harvard University of Texas, at Austin and Columbia University from 1991 to 1993. So, then go get up all into this. What was he famous for? I'll tap that in as well. Yeah, he was famous for star formation, exploding stars, dwarf galaxies, and the structures of the Milky Way. That's what he was famous for. That is his claim to fame. But that don't mean nothing. And we're going to hit some precepts. The last one here are tapped in. Who is the number one scientist in the world today? The number one scientist in the world today. I was just curious. Yeah. The key findings from the world best scientist ranking. The best scientist in the world is Walter C. Willett from Harvard University. Boy, these guys have got their, some heavy IQs, high IQs, professors, mad professors, their IQs must go up all up in the hundreds and hundred and 200s and all up there, high IQ people, them, right? The best scientists on the list work in the United States, so they say. So Walter C. Willett from Harvard University. So they're promoting the university as they do. Harvard, famous university. Another one. Who is the current greatest scientist? Yeah, arguably the world's most famous living scientist, Stephen Hawking, is known for his landmark contributions to our understanding of the Big Bang. So they're so clever, they actually believe in the Big Bang Theory, the evolution. They say you're so clever, you're stupid. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard that. Some people are so clever that they're stupid. Or you're acting smart in one of Bob Marley's song. Who the cap fit? Who the cap fit? Let them wear it. You're acting smart, but you're not being clever. And there's a lot of these people. They're acting smart, but they're not going forward. They're going backwards. As far as when it comes to the purpose in life, they don't know the purpose. They don't even know their purpose in life. Why they was created, and where they're going. So they're definitely acting smart, but they're not being clever. Or they're so clever that they're stupid. Yeah? Contributions to our understanding of the Big Bang, the black holes, and relatively, he is also renowned for his work as a science popularizer. writing to the best-selling book. So it's all about the being popular in this world, being people of this world, and getting fame of this world. Which Yehoshua, the greatest man that ever walked the earth, was offered. And that's in Matthew 4. Was offered the whole of the earth, the whole of the world. If you bow down and do an act of worship to Satan, and he turned it all down. Now that's more what you call. That's what you call that IQ is off the charts. That IQ can't be measured. Yahushua's IQ, and you can say the same about the elect. That there was with Yahushua, the angels from the creation of time, they actually help. And that's also backed up in Genesis 1. They actually help create the universe, the earth, as far as light, the separation of the seasons, the times, and Genesis 1 and 2 goes into all of that. So you can't make this up. Who are the true people with the IQs that are off the chart? I just tapped in. We're gonna end off now. Point is already made. Well, it ain't actually. We're making the point. I just tapped in. God uses the foolish to confound the wise. I just tapped in, and it just bring up the precept, man. Google, and we're gonna hit that precept. But he went into it a little bit. It says, now Paul confirms that God does indeed choose foolish and weak, and that's also in Acts 4, 13 and 14, the unlettered men. The foolish and weak people, as defined by human terms, because we're not looked upon as anything. We haven't got no letters to our name. As far as in the worldly letters, the Lord, the Sirs, and all of that, Sir Lord, and all that, what they say in the House of Commons. So as far as by human terms, to come to him through, but it goes on, foolish and weak people are defined by human terms to come to him through faith in Yahushua Mashiach, the Anointed One, what you Christians call Jesus. That's the point. Through faith, through Yahushua. Why does God do this? Why? Why does he do this? He wants to shame those who consider themselves too wise or strong to believe such a thing. So these men, they're rejected simply because, like I said earlier, they mocked him smart, but they're not being clever, or too clever for their own good. Too smart that they're actually stupid. Don't believe in the creation itself. The scriptures, I've done a video on that. Psalms 14. The foolish have said in his heart that there is no God. So the foolish, they're foolish. As far as when you break down foolish, is actually insanity. It's actually these people are actually insane. Don't listen to them. If you get all believing what they say, they're going to leave you off the edge of a cliff, and you won't have no future. Just like them, acting smart, but them not being clever. So the Most High uses the foolish people of the world. Let's hit that, and we're going to end off the video. So I think the point is made. Abu Ratazar, testing out this new app. Abu Ratazar is coming out all right. So 1 Corinthians 1 and 1 says, Paul called to be an apostle, Yahushua Mashiach, through the will of God, and sanctions our brother, if I pronounce that right. Apostle Paul wasn't none of these, which he had letters. As far as he was a lawyer, but all that he said that he counted all of that as dung. Now we're gonna hit the point. There's another point here. In 21 says, for after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom known not God, it pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. Yeah, if you didn't know any better, you saw Yahushua when he was on the earth, a drunkard. They actually called him that, and a gluttoner. They actually called him a drunkard and a gluttoner. But then he said, wisdom is proved by its works. Talking about the Pharisees and the Sadducees, the wicked Pharisees and Sadducees. So he himself was an example of someone who was despised, and that also mentioned in Isaiah 51, not looked upon with any kind of reverence, because he wasn't of this world. He was from a higher realm, man. So he was looked down upon himself. Yeah. And the example here of Apostle Paul, the same. And you can talk about all the prophets, the same. Yeah. And the prophets after, before, which the prophets are back here. I'll read it again. For after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. Right? And this is what we get into, the preaching work, the prophesying, which does give you a future and you know where you're going. Even Ziggy Marley, the son of Bob Marley, said that. In his song about he was going in one of his songs, man. If you don't know your past, you don't know your present, and you don't know your future. Tomorrow, people, that's the title of the song. Even Ziggy Marley knew that you got to know where you're going. You got to know where you're coming from to know where you're going. And these foolish people, they don't know where they're going. And they're teaching people about evolution and the Big Bang Theory, which we know how the earth did come about. I mentioned in Genesis 1 and 2, the angels, they got the blueprint from Yahushua, and the elements, they formed the elements to create the sun, the moon, the stars. And this is not no science, this is the creation of the Most High God, which science just means to know. Yeah, the elements, the seasons, they brought the seasons together, and the beast of the sea, and man, we all came out of the waters. So this knocks, you got foolish people who haven't been to Harvard University and all them other highly favored universities that know how the earth came about and can break it down in logical formation for you to understand. And that's how for the most part, the apostles, the disciples, they spoke. So that anybody, you don't need no high IQ, could get to understand it. That's why the Most High says he calls the foolish people of the world. Anyway, we're getting into it. Yeah? It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. Let's get to it. But God, 26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, right? But and you do have some brothers among us who are really, into, as far as having certain degrees, master degrees, and all kind of degrees, but they themselves have said that it is all refuge, rubbish, But you can use what you've learned from this world, like the person that comes to mind, Moses. Moses did that. He was educated in the ways of the Egyptians, and he dashed it away, considering that it was all refuge. It's very similar to Apostle Paul. Marsha, Moses, because he had a bigger future, a better, higher calling. Marsha. So you can be educated by the ways of this world. The historians. You also had Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the three young wise youths. Hananias, Azarias, and Mishael, if I'm pronouncing that right. That's their names in the Hebrew. They were educated in the ways of Babylon too, and which they didn't bow down to the Babylonian gods or statue of that time, and they was persecuted for it. But I'm just making the point. Yeah, you can be educated, but they had their priorities right, just like today. Men who have certain amount of letters to their name or degrees to their name have their priorities right. But you have, for the most part, you got common men. You might call them the man them next door. or the working class, you know, so to speak. For you see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many nobles are called. But no matter what way you cut it and slice it, Jake is a talented person. Whatever he gets into, he does succeed and he does take it to another level. We can see that today by just looking into the music side of things, even though they're using it for the wrong reason. The sports world, the music world, the entertainment world, the acting world. We do take things to another level. It doesn't matter what we apply ourselves to, but that wasn't the purpose of us being here. That wasn't the purpose of us being there. We're here to do the preaching work and to prophesy. But for those people that do that, they apply themselves, they do get far in this world, but their consolation is on this side. But let me read on. But God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. Yeah, man. So, like I say, this was a little tester. I was like, come out alright, and you can hear me clearly. He chose the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. There's a word that stands out here with me. Let's go into it. Confound. Confound. He chose the foolish things of the world to confound the wise.
Strong's G 2617. Katais Chuno. Katais Chuno.
Strong's G 617. So confound, to dishonor, to disgrace. Right? And that's what happened. The prime example we see that throughout the scriptures, man. Yeah, Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, David, right, going up against the enemy, the strong man, the strong enemy that appeared to be strong, Goliath, or the Goliath-like armies of those days. It wasn't just Goliath; there were many enemies that came against him. And what did he do? He dishonored, disgraced them. And we can go on and on and on. Daniel too, going up against the great kings of those days, breaking down the dreams, that great image, Nebuchadnezzar's image, right? And I mentioned the three wise young men. All throughout the Bible, we get this. Everyday men, common men, working class men, tradesmen. Apostle Paul was a tent maker, a tradesman of those days, as well as being highly educated. I mentioned that, but he didn't pursue that. He did use it though, so you can use what you've learned. Again, you can use what you've learned from this world to forward the truth and to aid in teaching the word, spreading the word, and it helps greatly. But for the most part, Most High wants to uses the foolish people to confound the wise, and also to be able for many people relate to those type of people, other people like themselves. That is why this truth is growing and continue to grow. That's why there's a saying, there's people for people, man. Right? To put to shame, to make ashamed. To be ashamed, to blush with shame. Enough said, man. One is said to be put to shame, which suffers repulse, or whom. Right, that's it, man. To confound. So he uses the so-called people that look down upon of this world to confound the wise. That's all I wanted to bring out. We went into some of those scientists, infamous or famous scientists. The point is already made. Let me just go into see what some of the translations say. And we're going to end off the video. In the NKJV said, but God has chosen the foolish things of the world to put to shame the wise. And God has chosen the weak things of the world to put to shame the things which are mighty. NLT says, instead God hath chose things the world considers foolish in order to shame those who think they are wise. And he chose things that are powerless to shame those who are powerful. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's beautiful right there. But one more, NIV. But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. So the water to your washing shop on the spirit on me to do this video. I just wanted to hit that and make that point, powerful point. The moral of the story is, but God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. Shalom, the water to your washing shop on the spirit on me to do this video. And to all the sincere elect out there, the Afwakim and the Wafbanyam, and the men, the sincere men, shalom until the next. We out.